So the demons are there to distract us. They're not really the thing. They're trying to take our attention away from the thing. So what is it that they can actually do, Father Gregory? A demon isn't all powerful the way that God is. That seems like most people would know that.
Yeah.
But the rest of it might be a little unclear. So flesh that out a little bit for us.
What we know about the angels, we know from the sacred scriptures. Obviously, the sacred tradition ponders those scriptures and elaborates, but a lot of it's speculative because angels are invisible. So St. Thomas is very coherent in his treatment of the articles of the faith, and he is able to help you make connections in light of what we know about our own human nature, our own human lives. So I think it's helpful to say, what can they do physically?
Right.
What can they do emotionally, psychologically?
Right.
And then what can they do spiritually?
Ooh, very nice. Physically,
physically,
emotionally, psychologically,
yep,
and spiritually.
And
all
spiritually.
Right, go on.
So physically, they can tinker with stuff. So they can make themselves appear as embodied by manipulating the elements. They can also manipulate your sensorium. That is to say, they can make you think you're seeing something which isn't there. That's basically it. There are other things to be said, I suppose, but not in this combo.
Okay, wait. Hold on. I do want to pause on this.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, Padre Pio.
Yep.
Getting beaten up by demons.
Right. So I think that'd be a demon.
Yeah.
Who is a fallen angel.
Right.
A spiritual creature.
Yes.
Just a subsisting spirit.
Yes.
Is manipulating the elements, like is manipulating material reality. Not itself having a body, but it...
Like causing a bruise to appear.
Well, yeah, but like it could be using things to inflict punishment or inflict pain, or it could just be directly applying its kind of power to whatever it wants to hurt or whatever it wants to influence.
All right, I'm with you. All right.
Yeah. But like...
Okay, physically.
Basically, they're powerful, and they don't need a body to interact with bodies.
I think that's really the key, because a lot of people might want to say, like, well, how could it be that a spiritual being would have any influence in the material world?
Yeah. Well, it's like they can make things levitate. They can make heads spin. They can do all manner of things. I mean, obviously, the best instance of a spiritual being causing physical changes in our experience is God. So clearly, they don't need to have a body in order to influence bodies. All right? You can just do it directly without the intermediary. That's no problem for God. And in a limited way, it's no problem for angels or demons. So they can tinker with stuff.
Yep.
And then emotionally, psychologically, this is where like the temptation piece comes in. They can propose images, right? And they can even kind of tinker with your moods to a certain extent, insofar as those moods are connected with your body. So like an increased heart rate accompanies fear. Might there be some sense in which they can induce fear by tinkering with the body in the corresponding way? Perhaps. So the idea here is that they can influence from the bottom up. Mm-hmm. So they can kind of tinker with the bod, and they can propose images, or they can read you really well. They don't have perfect knowledge of the future, and they don't have knowledge of your interior life, strictly speaking, but they can kind of take your pulse, see where your eyes go, watch for characteristic behaviors when confronted by certain opportunities, and then curate for you a tempting experience.
Yeah, I think that point's really important, right? Because, you can have, for example, an excellent detective who's able to interrogate someone and is able to know whether or not, the human being sitting in front of him is really the culprit based on that person's reaction. Mm-hmm. So it's great to understand that what a demon knows is by observation, a lot of it, and it's in the same kind of way that a detective knows. That the demon is responding to what it's learning about the person. And then I also want to point out to our listeners that you're using two words that I really like, which is you keep saying tinkering and influence, because I think a lot of times, and we'll talk about this later on in the episode, but a lot of times we ascribe a lot more power to demons than they really have.
Yep.
So those are good words, because it just asserts and emphasizes the level of influence that they actually have.
Father Bonaventure, if you had to choose between getting Warby Parker glasses, subscribing to a YouTube channel, or flossing your teeth, what would you choose?
Oof. I guess, to be honest, subscribing to a YouTube channel.
See, folks, it's not as bad as flossing your teeth or getting Warby Parker glasses. Please subscribe to Godsplaining. Cheers.